What's up, sisters? Welcome back to my channel. Tis the season of everyone being on like dry January and like talking about alcohol and trying to be clean for the month of January. And so I thought I would talk to you about alcohol and PCOS. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 10 things or 10 facts about alcohol and PCOS. A lot of women with PCOS, I'm wearing my pajamas by the way. Woo! A lot of women with PCOS like choose not to have alcohol altogether. For me, I knew that I'm just like not an extremist in any way, and I don't like eliminating things completely from my lifestyle or my diet. So I just have more of a balanced view now when it comes to alcohol. So here are the top 10 things about alcohol and PCOS that I thought you should know. Number one is a spike in your glucose levels, which I know seems obvious, but I thought I would tell you anyway. Cocktails are like the worst in terms of this because they're filled with like sugary fillers. Wine is also high in sugar, and I know some of you are thinking, well, I'll just have beer, but actually the carbs in beer actually spike your glucose levels as well. Now, women with PCOS already have higher levels or higher elevated glucose levels, so adding something in that really spikes your glucose is probably not the best idea for you. If any of you are dealing with PCOS weight gain or are having troubles with weight in general because of your PCOS, having alcohol isn't going to help in that sense because it's just going to elevate that glucose level even higher, which is going to add to weight gain. Number two is it messes around with your insulin. So alcohol actually causes your body to release something called glucogen, and that in fact raises your insulin levels. Now, someone like me and people with PCOS already have higher levels of insulin due to just hormonal imbalance in general. So for me, my insulin is quite high, which is why a lot of women with PCOS are like pre-diabetic or diabetic. My resting glucose level is like really high, like on the cusp of pre-diabetic. So having something that's spiking my sugar all the time isn't gonna help with that. Number three, it can affect your fertility. So multiple research studies have shown that having alcohol can cause spontaneous abortions, can lead to breast cancer, can make it harder for you to get pregnant, can lead to menopause a lot earlier, can also lead to period irregularities and also anovulation. All those things intact, maybe for the everyday gal who like doesn't really have any of these problems to begin with, alcohol wouldn't do so much. But for us, we already have so many problems with infertility, and adding alcohol to that situation isn't gonna make anything better. Number four, it stresses out your liver. So when you drink alcohol, your liver then tries really hard to metabolize it very quickly because it views alcohol as a toxin. Because of this, when you drink and your body is using those vitamins to metabolize your alcohol, you're then left vitamin deficient, specifically vitamin C. Number five is it can lead to estrogen dominance. So a lot of us already have hormones that are all over the place. For me, I am quite high in estrogen and quite low in progesterone. So drinking alcohol is just gonna increase that chance of getting estrogen elevated, and that's really not what I want. I want my hormones to be balanced, and having something in there that's going to mess it up even further is just not my cup of tea, you know what I mean? A lot of women are actually reporting that their PCOS symptoms are worse after having a heavy night of drinking. So you can imagine all the symptoms that we have, it can be substantially worse. So that ain't your thing. Number six, it disrupts your appetite. So a lot of women with PCOS already have higher levels of testosterone, which make you actually hungrier. We have more secretions of this, I guess it's a hormone? I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but it's called like CCK. And CCK basically is the signal that tells your body you're full. So women with PCOS have an actual disruption with that CCK, which is why sometimes you just eat and you never feel full. So alcohol actually induces that even more. Number eight, it interferes with sleep. You guys know I don't sleep. I sleep a ridiculously little amount as it is, and Often, a lot of people have a couple of glasses of wine and they can fall asleep easier. However, you're more likely to wake up throughout the night multiple times, which really can disrupt your sleep. And for me, that's like a big, big no-no. I already get like, I don't know, like 4 hours a night, maybe, and that's with like tossing and turning. And so to add something that's gonna even worsen that just doesn't sit with me well. And then you're just even groggier the next day, and then it's just an awful cycle. So keep that in mind. Okay, number 9, it can worsen your why can't I talk? It's because it's so early. Number 9 is it can worsen your triglycerides. So women with PCOS are already at risk for high levels of LDL, so like cholesterol and triglycerides. And even with myself, I know I keep referring to myself. I'm not that like self-obsessed. I just kind of want to put things into context. With me, when I get my blood work back, I do have like, again, on the cusp of like high levels of LDL, and I eat very, very well, in a balanced way, but like I'm not eating like a bunch of like junk all the time. So for me to have those high elevated levels is like always a shock to see. Drinking alcohol, especially red wine, can actually raise your LDLs even more. Number 10, alcohol is a depressant. So women with PCOS are more susceptible to depression and anxiety and mood disorders. For the obvious, I feel like just having PCOS in general has like led me to have anxiety over my food choices and my lifestyle choices and my supplement choices and things that are happening on your body that like you have no idea about, like your weight gain and hair growth and hair loss and like acne, and like there's so many things. So I think like in general our symptoms are adding to that anxiety and perhaps depression, but also because your hormones aren't balanced, you're more susceptible to like mood swings and depression and anxiety. So it is quite a serious thing, and alcohol is a depressant which can affect your mood. It can make you feel really tired and run down, and alcohol actually taps into your adrenal glands, which then can make you feel more fatigued. And if you go look at my hormone test that I got done last year, I should probably get a new one of that to see where I'm at. But anyway, last year, I got a hormone test which showed me that my adrenal glands were like out of this world. Basically, I was like so high stress, high anxiety that my adrenals were working so much. And I don't know if anyone can relate to this. If you have something really stressful going on at work or at home, it's harder for your body to regulate those adrenals, and you sometimes wake up and like you can't get out of bed because you're so tired. There have been multiple days where I literally come home after work at 4 o'clock and fall asleep and don't wake up till the next morning, and even that feels like I needed more sleep. And so it's a really awful feeling, and alcohol can actually make you feel even more tired and more fatigued because it affects those adrenal glands. So probably not the best choice for us ladies, you know. And I know this is not part of the 10, but I know a lot of you are on metformin. If you have alcohol with metformin, it is a bad mix. When you have metformin and alcohol together, it can actually lead to an increased risk of extremely, extremely low blood glucose levels. Now, I know some of you are saying like, well, who cares? No, that's so bad, so bad. You could end up hospitalized. You can even end up dead from that. So do not mix the two together. Normally, if you're prescribed metformin, if I remember correctly, it was like 3 times a day. So it is in your system all the time. It's not like a pill that you take like once in a while, and if you have a drink, it's not gonna affect it. If you are taking metformin properly like you should, and you're drinking alcohol, it's not a good idea. So that's just a side note for you ladies who are on metformin, just to be aware. But there is hope. I come to this video with a positive silver lining. Or to me it is. So if you are going to drink something, I thought I'd give you some like tips on like how to drink with PCOS. Research has shown that resveratrol, I can never pronounce it, resveratrol, which is found in red grapes only, can actually help your body de-stress, which in turn helps regulate your insulin levels. So long story short, red wine might not be the worst decision when you're out drinking. The study, I think, was quite small, but basically women with PCOS were given resveratrol tablets taken, and they were then measured against their insulin resistance. All the women that took this resveratrol found a decrease in androgens, and they found a decrease in high insulin. So that's kind of cool. So besides red wine, if red wine isn't your thing, I would suggest having any like liquors on the rocks, and that's it, or like with a soda. And not soda as in like Sprite or pop, as in like soda water. So you can have like a vodka and soda and like squeeze some lime into it. Like that's a good option. I would also have something to eat before you go out on a night drinking with like your gal pals or like your work colleagues, because if you have something in your stomach, it's actually takes the alcohol a longer time to digest and get into your system, which is just better for your liver, better for your system, better for those CCK levels that are like elevated that are gonna make you feel hungry. So that's an option. If you're out and you are drinking and you're like, man, I want something to eat, go for something that's like higher in protein as well. So don't reach for like the fried food, like the tacos or like the nachos or like a burger. Have something like chicken if possible, or cheese, or even nuts. Like if there's like a nut plate that you can get, or like, you know, when you go to bars and they have like the little cute dishes of like the nuts, like that's something that's much better than reaching for like the nachos. Another thing is to have a glass of water with some lemon between every drink. So if you're having like some kind of beverage, then after it have a glass of water. This just basically helps your body not get dehydrated. Now, am I saying like eliminate alcohol completely and don't go out with your friends and don't have fun? No, I'm just saying those are a lot of things, a lot of symptoms that can be associated with drinking alcohol and PCOS. Just be aware, ladies, is all I'm saying. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any suggestions or any funny stories with you drinking in PCOS, or maybe not so funny stories. Sure, we can all relate for sure, but please make sure to like this video and subscribe, as it really helps my channel. And I will see you in the next vlog. See ya, ladies. Drink wisely.